Hey guys, welcome back to the conversation of our generation. I got another good book review for you today. Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises. I'm a little mad. I had like an old printed version, like the original cover. I don't know if it was an early edition, and I lost it when I went to the beach. I had to actually buy the other book, buy this book so that I could finish reading the darn thing. I had like 30 pages left, so it's a nice quick read. We're gonna get into it in a second here, but I wanted to make sure I let you guys know that you can find me at the conversationofourgeneration.com, or sorry, conversationofourgeneration.com, no the, or if you just search Conversation of Our Generation in Google, you should find me, should pop up. Facebook, check me out there. I got a page. I got Twitter at con of our gen. No, I'm not conning people. Conversation of Our Generation is just too long for the Twitter handle, so I just, it flows, con of our gen. So check me out those places and get involved in the dialogue there. If you read this book and you like another Hemingway book better, tell me. If you think I'm wrong about something, or you like what I'm saying, whatever it is. I just want to talk, get the dialogue going with people who can expand my mind, who can challenge my beliefs, who can correct maybe something that I'm wrong on. And whether it's solidifying me in something and making me realize that my position, I'm grounded in that, and that's good going forward, or whatever it is. I want to get the dialogue going, and I want to have an open, free discussion on things that are deeper than just your basic stupid talking points. I want to look at it from a different angle. I want to approach things a little bit differently, and see what comes of it. See and have people who do the same thing, talk back with me and get something going. So, The Sun Also Rises. It's a great little book. It's like 250 pages. It was a pretty quick read. I read The Great Gatsby in high school. If I hated it then, I probably like it more now. If you like kind of something like that, it's kind of similar. It's about like five or six. It's basically centers around a guy named Jake who was hurt in the war in World War I think, and he American. He lives over in France now, and basically like all of them, they're like socialites, and it talks about pretty much. It's kind of interesting. It kind of goes into like the emptiness of some of them, how some of them, you know, do and find fulfillment in the book. Some of them don't. And I really don't want to do much because I give it away. There's a really interesting look into you learn a lot actually because he ends up going down to Pamplona for the run of the bulls and the bullfights there, and it's cool. You get a cool insight into how that whole thing works, and because I didn't really know about it very well, but reading this, you actually really do learn a lot about how that world is, and it's cool. Different thing there, and but it's cool. It's interesting because I think you see a lot of the same symptoms today. Like I said, they're kind of like rich socialites and looking for fulfillment. And there's one guy in there at one point, he talks about how he's just opening, like, the whole time he's there, he's just opening a line of credit everywhere, and he doesn't have any money to pay for anything. And he's been bankrupt a couple times, he says, and they're like, someone asks him, well, how did you go bankrupt? And he goes, well, gradually, and then all at once. He's taking all this debt, and all of a sudden he couldn't service his debt, and boom, he's bankrupt. And that's the idea. He's living beyond his means, and pretty much all of them are, in some way or another, living beyond their means. And I think you see that in America today, but it's not a socialite class that's doing that. They may be, but if you're, me, I'm 22 years old. I can open, almost 23, but I could open credit cards and live way beyond my means, and just, go buy shoes and outfits and all this stuff, and live in, a pretty nice apartment, and just you can rack up so much debt. You can use your freaking student loans. You can jip that and pay for all sorts of stuff you want to do. I've heard of stories. I can't say I know anybody personally, but that I know for sure, but I've heard of stories of people doing that. And I just think it's such a human tendency to try to get what you can with the least amount of work. And so I think it's cool to see that in 1920 something, it was the same way. And I think that's one big thing I take away. There's a great little love story in it as well. It's really interesting as well. So you can check it out and read it. It has something for everybody. I think anybody can read this book and enjoy it. I definitely think if you're a guy though, Hemingway is probably more up your alley. Generally, he kind of has that hard-nosed sort of like manly gruff about the way he talks and writes and everything. So I think he definitely appeals more that way. But I think, the way he kind of writes the story with between two of the main characters, you really see it, or it's kind of a love triangle, really, which is another reason why it reminds me of Great Gatsby, really. But uh, yeah, it's just a good little story. It's an easy read. It's fun, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I know I kind of talked last time about working my way through into literature, but at the same time, you can still go back and read literature. I have personally, I have a 3-book cycle. I have a philosophy book. I have just a good fiction read, and then I read, I read through the Bible. I read a bit of it every day. So that's kind of how I work with it. And, so I get 3 different aspects and 3 different things that I can read, and you read, a few pages of each one, and you work your way through them, and in a month you're on to the next thing. The Bible, you're not quite that quick, but yeah, but the other 2 books, you're kind of on to the next one, and you kind of circle through quickly, and that's what I've started doing. It's worked really well for me. Not saying you have to do the same thing, but rotating through keeps it fresh. For me, it's really hard for me to read 200 pages straight of something. It's easier to break it up and have like a fun fictional read to kind of read in between, dense philosophy, or the the way that the Bible is written. It's tough to read sometimes, so it's a very interesting story, but it's tough to read sometimes. So check it out. The Sun Also Rises, Ernest Hemingway. It's a great book, definitely fun. And while you're at it, get to the Conversation of Our Generation Facebook page, the Twitter account at ConofOurGen, or conversationofourgeneration.com, and check out the blogs there and see what we're talking about. I'm going to be, doing a little bit more, hopefully expanding kind of my content. So keep an eye out for that, and keep following me and getting involved in the conversation of our generation, and let's get the dialogue going. All right, have a good one, and let's get the dialogue going.